I'm Sid, and these are my best friends. My mom, Kim, my dad, Ty, my sister, Maddie, and our salty dog, Stella. We started our adventure refitting a Lagoon 450 before taking on the massive project of resurrecting a sunken 2021 Leopard 50. It's been one heck of a ride, but we're on this adventure to die with memories, not dreams, and live dauntless.
Hey, cool cats and kittens, welcome back. We are trying our last ditch effort this week to get these air conditioning units to run properly by getting a pump. If we don't get this pump to work, we are going to have to build a sea chest, which we just explained in last week's video. So if you haven't figured out what a sea chest is, maybe jump back and we explained that there. Otherwise, this week, Ty and I are going to drive down to Fort Lauderdale to Hooker Electric and try and find a pump that is going to work for these 48-volt air conditioners.
All right, this has been the tale of a million pumps.
Literally. Oh my God.
WTF. All right, so we've got these DC air conditioners, and they require cooling just like a regular AC air conditioner requires. And the problem that we're having is this boat was set up with a chiller system in it. And the chiller system means that they needed very narrow gaps behind all the cabinetry to run glycol or cooling lines. So the big chiller cools down a glycol water mixture and then just pumps it around the boat, whether it's warm or cool, to make air conditioning or make heating. And then each individual room has this air handler thing, they call it. And that air handler just blows air across whatever this radiator's putting out, hot or cold. That's great. Well, the problem is that when you take those units out, because your boat sank, and you then put in self-contained air conditioners, they're way above the water level, which is completely abnormal for this kind of boat. So the problem we're having is going through pump after pump after pump is that there's a lot of resistance in the lines with this head pressure, which is the height of water, or the weight of water, or the resistance the water has to pump up in the air. And it's like no kidding, guys, it's been like 6 pumps. I've ordered $1,500 worth of pumps and returned and back and forth. They're just not doing what they're going to do. So I came up with an idea to do a sea chest. Now, a sea chest is just a big box that you dump water in, and big super yachts use them, and also fishing boats use them for running large volumes of water to their bait wells. So I was gonna build a sea chest and put bilge pumps in there, because I did test them and they will run, okay? But in the process of looking for that, we found this really cool pump. So we're making a 4-hour round trip to Fort Lauderdale to buy this one last pump. And if this pump doesn't work,
I don't know. We may suffer without air conditioning. I don't know. That's not true. We won't suffer without air conditioning.
No, but we will do the sea chest. So if it doesn't work, we're going to do the sea chest and then just have some spare bilge pumps, so when they die, we can replace them. It's kind of a consumable thing.
So to clarify too, one of the main things that we're doing here is trying to conserve power. So we're trying to get a DC pump that will operate at a lower draw so that we're using less energy and using the most of our battery and solar.
Absolutely.
We could do an alternating current pump. It would be an energy hog in comparison, and we could absolutely run our system without any problems on an alternating current pump. But
we get farther and farther away from running on sunshine.
Correct.
And we are really close now. I think we might be able to run this boat overnight and 6 hours in the evening. So 18 plus hours of air conditioning a day, plus everything else in the boat on sunshine, and not have to burn one drop of dead dinosaur juice. That's the whole idea. So if I'm running these ridiculously big pumps, like Kim said, on AC, yeah, they'll do it, but they're just absolutely inefficient energy hogs.
Yep, power hogs. So this is our last ditch effort to have a single pump or a pump on each side that will work these air conditioning units. If that doesn't work, we're still going to go forward with the DC system, but Ty is likely going to be building a sea chest. It's not my optimal first choice. I know mega yachts do it, but it just, I don't know. There's something about it that just is a little wonky for me, and it probably is just because it's not what anybody else does, so.
We're gonna cross that pond when we get to it. Let's see if we can get this to work. So 4 hours round trip.
Yeah.
We're trying to get there before they close today. And if this all works out tomorrow, we actually might have air conditioning in at least half of the boat.
No
what
problem.
the heck?
No problem.
All right, guys. That's all I got to say about that. All right, guys. I have a confession. Kim and I just got done picking up a hooker. Hooker electric pumps. 7,500 gallons an hour at 6 feet in the air. 10,000 gallons an hour at water level. So we're gonna hook this beast up, and
I'm really hoping that this is the answer to all of my air conditioning prayers.
because this was really, really expensive. Like really expensive. All right. But I suppose it doesn't really matter if it works. Of course it matters. But if I don't have air conditioning because the pump doesn't work, I suppose then it matters more. Anyway. It's been a week.
We got 2 hours of driving.
All right.
We have 2 hours of driving to do, so we need to get on the road. I gotta
right.
get my directions out.
Bye, guys.
Alright, and on.
Breaker on. I heard the pump. Did you hear they go beep, 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 beep? Here we go.
Alright, talk to the camera and tell me what you're testing.
All right, so the big pump looks like it's gonna do what we really want it to do. I'm pretty excited, and
Can you show excitement? Because right now you look very intense.
I'm stressed out, people. So we're gonna go measure the front through hole, which I can see right now is not running enough now. And we're going to just be modifying those guys until we get adequate water flow with around 50% power on the pump. That's the goal. So we're just running water and testing flow rates with our 5-gallon bucket and stopwatch. So let's get on it. 3, 2, 1, go. In 3, 2, 1, stop.
55 seconds. So we got it.
All right, I'm moving to the forward.
Okay.
In 3, 2, 1, go. In 3, 2, 1, stop.
45 seconds.
All right, cool cats and kittens. I think the big takeaway here is this pump is going to work. Thank goodness. We do have a few things that we have to do. We are going to switch out our through hole, and we're going to use our waste tank through hole from the owner's cabin because it is 1.5 inches. Yeah, 1.5 inches. So that we have a bigger intake coming from the water. That's going to help the pump. Until we haul the boat out, when we can actually upgrade the original through hole for this system later, when we can pull out of the water. That's later's problem. We'll be pumping our heads from the top side, so it's no big deal that we're using the through hole from the bottom side. Besides, there hasn't been any poop that's gone through there because, well, remember, the boat sank. So we're good. Now, beyond that, we also have to redo our manifold because this pump should, based on our tests, actually have enough water running through it that we are going to be able to use one pump for the entire system for all 6 units. So we've got some work ahead of us. We're not totally ready to function our air conditioning yet, but we're on the right track. So freaking thumbs up. High fives all around. We're so excited.
Go
and what a woo! Such a huge relief. So let's go make a new manifold. Let's get this stuff put together like it's supposed to be. Oh, and we have to get a bigger sea strainer too. So we got lots of stuff to do. Let's get on it. Okay, so we've switched the through hull to 1.5 inches. So now we're getting more water coming in, which is appropriate for the pump. And Ty has not seen the water flow overboard yet, so this is going to be his reaction. Are you ready? Hold on, here we go.
All right, and I know what 3, 4, 5 gallons a minute looks like. That ought to do it. Okay. What are we on over here? Holy shit.
That'll do it, Paige. That'll do it.
All right, I have to measure. So we need,
Okay, hold on. It's windy, so
I'm looking for a total. We need at least 32 gallons a minute to run through the system, and I'd prefer to see at least 40.
Okay, let's go.
Suction cup.
suction cup.
Here I go.
All right, we're testing Niagara Falls. We have a 1.5 inch through hole, which is the correct size for this pump, and we are going to test and see exactly how much water is coming out with it at full blast, and then we'll be able to restrict it down ourselves to the appropriate time. So here's the test.
Three, two, one, go. How long? Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. In 3, 2, 1, stop. It's work, Big Bird.
So let's see. So you got the back one was 54 seconds.
54, 42, and whatever this side was. All right, that was a lot of testing. So let me give you a little recap of exactly what happened. So first we took that brand new pump and we hooked it up to the existing manifold and the existing 1-inch through hole that I originally planned for the manifold on each side of the boat. And it was running pretty well. We were getting way more water than we needed to, and we were pushing quite a bit of force through it, obviously. So in an effort to do what the manufacturer recommended, which was to restrict the intake of the pump as little as possible, I switched over to our waste through hole. Now nothing's been through there, so I just disconnected the hose, swapped out a fitting on the top of that through hole, so I had 1.5 inch intake, which is what the pump takes. And then we ran it again, and sure enough, we got some really, really good numbers out of that, and the amount of water flow increased. Now we're still dealing with some back pressure, so I still am going to build that larger manifold and put a bigger strainer on there, because I think the sea strainer is providing quite a bit of resistance on the intake, and because it's smaller, even though it says it can do 1.5 inches, it's kind of the max capability, and they don't really give you flow rates for it. So I'm going to go up to something big, and then based on the suggestion from the manufacturer of the pump, I'm going to build a large manifold with 2-inch PVC that will then neck down through those valves to the individual 5/8 hoses that'll run to all the individual air conditioners. And I'm going to try to run it all from one side of the boat. So we're going to give it a go. We're going to see how that works. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then I'll just cut that manifold in half and move it over to the other side of the boat, and then there'll be 2 through holes and 2 manifolds and 2 pumps running each side of the boat. The exciting part is that I haven't shared with you is the power consumption. So just running this side of the boat, we're running, you saw it, like 19 gallons a minute, and we're only using 230 watts, which is amazing. And I think that we may be using more than that, obviously, when the speed of the pump runs up, but I really think that we're going to get a ton of water flow for a fraction of the energy consumption. So stay tuned for that. And speaking of fixing things and dealing with challenges, well, we've got an old car because we sold our stuff that we had before, and we needed something to drive around, and we just needed an economical, get around kind of car. And you've seen us driving good old minivan for quite a while. Well, she took a crap on us, and unfortunately, she took a crap while she was being loaned to somebody. So let's get into the adventure of fixing something on land. See, it's not all just about fixing boats. Sometimes you got to fix cars because your ship breaks. So a couple months ago, we had this belt tensioner that failed. It was squeaking and making a whole bunch of noise, so I replaced it. But yesterday we loaned out our car to some of our patrons, and they're out running some errands, and the bolt holding this onto the actual car sheared off. So I tried to replace it. I got a new bolt, but when I got a new bolt, I can't get it on, and it broke again. So now I'm gonna go in and get the actual whole part replaced. Back and forth, back and forth. And we really need a car to be able to run our errands and get all this stuff. So we've got to be able to fix this stuff when it breaks. Okay, brand new part acquired. And I've got a socket that is 6-point that's gonna not strip out, hopefully this time. And yeah, get this put on the car, and then we'll be able to run down to Fort Lauderdale and get some more laminate for more and more upcoming projects. All right, so as a recap, I feel so bad. We lent the minivan to our friends and patrons, Scott and Lori, to go run some errands. And the idler pulley and the belt tension that was squeaking earlier this year that I fixed, it just broke off while they were sitting at an intersection. They did make it back okay, which was good. But yeah, we had to go through 2 rounds of parts. Scott helped me. Thank you very much, Scott. He's shaking his head. But we got it fixed. She's charging again, and she's back in service for us to finish this boat refit. So sometimes you just got to fix shit, and sometimes your car breaks, and sometimes your boat breaks, and today it was the car. So we got it. No one was stranded, and everything's fixed.
Lesson learned, never loan your shit out.
Oh!
Or if you do, loan it out to somebody that'll help you fix it.
Right. All right. Job well done. All right, guys, I am happy to report the pump is working fabulously. And as you can see, we have air. So the whole boat on the starboard side is all hooked up and running. We still have to do the ducting, so it is a little loud. So things will be much quieter once we've done that. But in the meantime, we've got air conditioning. I'm so excited because this means that we are actually finally ready to start buttoning up the last minute things to be able to move on board. So make sure that you subscribe if you haven't. Click that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode. Don't forget the Annapolis Boat Show is coming up, and we will be there. Stay tuned to social media so that you see when we'll be in the YouTube Sailing Channels booth and when we're going to have some meetups. If you need tickets still, we'll put the link in the description below for discount on ticket sales, and we'll put the code right here. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we can't wait to show you what's on deck for next week.